at MP Shah Hospital in Nairobi. He becomes the 6th sitting Member of Parliament to die in a span of just 3 months. Let's cross over live and speak to reporter George Maringa, who is live for us from Juja. George, quite a blow there for residents of Juja. What more can you tell us?
Blow to residents, not only to the residents, but in fact also to the family. I am actually at the home of the Member of Parliament here in Juja, where, as you can see behind me, preparations are just ongoing for the burial service, or rather for the morning session that begins from the moment that the Member of Parliament passed away, and then of course they will be expecting to receive guests and family, friends, constituents of these entire, or rather the larger Juja family as it is known right here. And in as much as the Member of Parliament was a public figure, he also had a family. He was a father of 4 children, and I am delighted to be joined by 3 of them who will be speaking to us right here on News Desk on KTN News to just, pick their mind and also have a conversation with them regarding their late dad, and they have been strong enough and gracious to speak to us. Thank you for joining us on KTN News. Start with your name and in which order are you of birth?
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Waititu, and like you said, we are 4 siblings in this family of Honorable Francis Waititu. The firstborn is a girl, she's Terry Njeri, who will be joining us soon, Terry Njeri Monyo. I'm the secondborn, Michael Waititu. There's a thirdborn girl who is nursing a young baby. She was blessed just last year. She's called Christine Njeri Monyo. And then there's a last-born boy called Martin Waititu, who will be joining us. So let me begin by thanking the studios, KTN. We know Mzee was a friend of the studio, and we appreciate you for coming to condole with us. We must say indeed, as siblings, we were honored to have him as a father, and it has been an interesting journey in our individual capacities, because he went all out to become a mentor to each one of us, and he made sure that he was aware of our progress in life. We also want to affirm that his leadership was genuine, and I think it was a calling, because right from his childhood, in 1958 when he was born, he came from a very humble family. So his journey was very interesting to us when he said that it is out of the problems he saw in the coffee farms, where he had a chance to grow up and even at some point serve as a manager in the Kenyatta family coffee farms, that he was able to wish that he could be able to reach out and do much more with the strength that comes from government. When I say government, I need public resources. And I think you have seen it. He's been on record with the CDF management. He's been very loyal to his constituents. And I think there'll be a profiling of the projects that he has done. Let me also take this chance to thank the President of this Republic of Kenya, because he has been a personal friend to Mzee, to our dad, Honorable Francis, even before he joined Parliament, and even when he was a Member of Parliament, and more or less to say when he fell sick. He supported us in all possible ways that we would have imagined, because we all know he went out of the country to India, and even here in the country, there is no single day that they were not checking on his progress.
When did Mzee start ailing?
Well, this was in 2017, at exactly 8th of October. That is when he got his first diagnosis. It was an MRI scan, and we were able to see something foreign on the left temporal lobe of his brain, and it was confirmed to be a tumor. And the tumor became cancerous in 2018 February, when we went to India. Yes. So,
talk to us about the treatment process, and earlier on, you remember before we went on, you were telling me that he had sort of prepared you, his family, for his death. If you could talk to us about that as well.
Yeah. What I meant by that is that I saw a very strong man. When the diagnosis came, I remember they mentioned a very short period that they were expecting him to survive the illness. It's a very aggressive tumor, glioblastoma. So when he had that news, how I reacted and how my mom reacted was different from the patient himself, because he actually started to remind us of how God had blessed him and how he felt he had very little to do compared to what he has done, both for our family and for the country. And during our stay in India on radiation and chemo, he had 20-minute sessions, and most of the time we'd have the day to ourselves. Mzee engaged in activities related to his job, because I remember we went for various church functions. He funded a sports tournament in India, and he was featured on a magazine in India. So when we would come to the room, I'd ask him, what gives you this drive that you don't remember we're in hospital? And he told me, son, when God says it is your time, it is your time. And until now I'm breathing and I can still do things, then it means God still has me. So he told us, when that time comes and you don't see me, please move on, and I am okay. And I think that's the message you would share in different words to each one of us. Yes.
Thank you very much, and deepest condolences to you. I'll speak to the gentleman here. Kindly join us. Start with your name, and you worked closely with Mzee. Talk to us about ever since he started ailing, running the constituency, how it has been, especially for you.
What I would like to say is that my name is Martin Monyo Waititu. Being the last born of this family of Honorable Francis Monyo Waititu, it is quite fortunate that I was able to work closely with Mheshimiwa, having been his personal assistant from 2015, and having worked his political journey, and having worked through his also medical journey. And I really thank God for this family, because we have all stood together, we have all worked through it together. And what I would like to say is that cancer is no easy disease. We have seen it through our family, and it has taken a toll on us, and also a toll on the constituency. And the mere fact that cancer is not curable, I think I have seen, and I have seen my dad every day going from one stage to another. And I would like to say the best thing and the memory I will always hold on to is that that man was a strong man. Yeah.
You worked with him closely, not only as a personal assistant, but you also, managed several projects in conjunction with the office, the city office, and others. Up to when, was he? Did he keep tabs with the affairs of the constituency on matters, running the Juja constituency affairs of the constituency?
What I must say is that from 2017, after Mheshimiwa got his first diagnosis and got his first surgery, that was in 2017, December, what I must say is that he was not in office. Much as the office shifted from the physical office to the home office, we always had a briefing at every end of the week, whereby Mheshimiwa would keep up to tabs. I must say, even our last proposal for the last financial year, it was purely and wholeheartedly done by Mheshimiwa, considering the fact that whether it was through God that he saw COVID is on the way, we were able to do a lot of projects in terms of the constituency. And I must say, and I must thank the CDF committee, because at the end of the day, in Juja, among the very few constituencies where through COVID, no student went under a tree for a classroom, because the CDF office worked, and through the able leadership of our Member of Parliament, the late Mheshimiwa Waititu, we were able to coordinate the same, and we were able to ensure that the constituency is running. And I must quote a very interesting gentleman by the name of our county commander, Nuno. He once told us, please go and tell Mheshimiwa to no longer build more police stations, because we have given you enough security guards. Yeah, so I must say that being that security and education are his paramount ideas, and I thank the whole office because we were able to safeguard and ensure through the able leadership of our CDF chairman and our office manager and the rest of the team, that whatever he instructed and he wished, it was done. Yeah.
Indeed. And I'll wind up the conversation with the firstborn, the lady. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us your name.
Good afternoon. My name's Terry Waititu, firstborn daughter of Honorable Waititu. Mine, as a...
First of all, you are the firstborn, the princess, the first fruit of the Mheshimiwa. How was it, growing up in as much as your siblings came along the way? How was it as a father to you? What memories do you have?
A lot. Dad was Superman. He's that man who you would not get something wrong in. He always had a solution for everything. So even when he got his diagnosis, he didn't find it a big deal, because he knew among all the challenges he's been through, this also will not get him down. So during the last days is when I saw a defeated man. But all through, he has never shown any signs of giving up. But the last 2 days were tough on him. And as a family, because we were all there, and we were told this is it, we told him, we held his hand and told him, it's okay to let go. He's been strong for us, and we'll be fine. So I have memories of a Superman Yeah.
And I mean, from a very young age up until now, moving on, to continue with the Waititu name, what are some of those qualities that you'd also like to see in your children? Because of course, I'm sure you would name, when God blesses you with a son after him, what are some of those attributes that you'd like to see carried forward in his name?
Kindness. Kindness. My dad was one of the most kindest souls. He would say, this will not happen now because there are those people there that need it more than we do. So if there's one thing I'd like for future generation, like his kids, my kids, to take home is be kind. Don't think about yourself. Think about the other person. Do they need it more than you do? That is one thing he always told us. He told me, Sherry, do you need it more than they do? I said, no, Daddy, I'm fine. Then let's give it to them. So that's the one thing, kindness. Kindness.
Thank you so much. Indeed, I have been speaking to the children of the former, or rather the late Member of Parliament, that is Mheshimiwa Francis Waititu, right here at his home, where preparations have begun for the final journey for his send-off, and we understand he'll be laid to rest at his home right here in Juja, in the compound where we are in. And as you have heard, they have fond memories of their late father, who was not only a leader and Member of Parliament for the constituents, but was also their father, and they have a lot and fond memories of him. So we'll continue to follow up on this story. Of course, we understand that other leaders have made their way here to condole with the family, and more will continue making their way right here as we also await for further communication on the plans for the burial that will be communicated to us at a later date. Michelle.
Many thanks, George Maringa there, the Juja MP, having succumbed to cancer Monday night while receiving treatment at MP Shah Hospital here in Nairobi. He now becomes the 6th sitting Member of Parliament to die in the country in just a span of 9 months. KTN's Emmanuel Toh with more details.
A week after the demise of 2 members of parliament, the hour of death has once again struck the National Assembly. This time around, the Juja legislator Francis Munyo Waititu passing on at MP Shah Hospital, Nairobi, while undergoing treatment for brain cancer. His family said the second-term lawmaker died last night at around 10 p.m. In his message of comfort, President Uhuru Kenyatta eulogized Waititu, famously known by his moniker Wakapee, as a progressive, trusted and devoted leader. National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi adding that the MP was devoted to service in the august house. Before his death, the Juja MP served as a member of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock in the National Assembly. Back in 2013, he was elected Juja MP through the National Alliance TNA ticket. He was then surprisingly re-elected on a Jubilee ticket in 2017, despite having spent many months undergoing medical care in India. Francis Waititu is the 6th politician to die in office in 3 months after MPs John Oro Oyoko of Bonchari, James Lusweti of Kabuchai, Matungu legislator Justus Murunga, and Senators Boniface Kabaka of Machakos and Garissa's Yusuf Haji. Other leaders who have made public their cancer status are Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o and nominated Senator Beth Mugo. Some of the leaders who have died of cancer are former Bomet Governor Joyce Laboso and Kibra's Ken Okoth. Emmanuel Toh, KTN News, Nairobi.
Let's get back to matters. BBI and more than 30 counties